Hello, my name is Sally and I work as one of the makeup artists with Look Fabulous Forever, which is the makeup, skincare and hair care range specifically designed for older faces. Today I want to share with you some of my top tips as a makeup artist on creating the flawless base, the perfect base or canvas for your face. And I want to share with you the products that I use and the tips that I have for making this work for you. If you have any questions or comments, please do write them in the box below the video. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. So the first thing I would say about a flawless base is to get your skincare right. As we get older, or certainly for me, my skin is definitely drier and goes a little bit more flaky and a little bit more uneven as it doesn't have the oil that it had in it when I was younger. If I really want my makeup to look good, I often find that the night before I will use the beautiful gentle face exfoliator, this product, followed by the hydrating clay mask. And I find then that all the dead skin cells are removed from my skin so that when I put my makeup on the following day, it works so much better. So even if you do this once a week, it will keep your skin in tip-top condition so that your makeup application and your base goes on really flawlessly. Keeping it moisturized as well. So obviously using the night cream at night. What I have done this morning is I've cleansed my face. It's really important to start with a clean canvas when you're putting on makeup. So make sure that your skin is really clean. I've also used the beautiful Hydration Hold face serum, just a couple of drops of this. It's got the hyaluronic acid in it, before putting on my beautiful Smooth the Face Day Cream. So I popped that on, and the thing I used last night also was obviously my night cream and the eye cream, so the Night Revive eye cream, because that's the other thing. If there's sort of dryness around the eyes when you put your foundation on, it will sit, or concealer, it will sit more in the fine lines around the eyes. So keeping everything really well hydrated is really important to help to create that flawless base. When you've put your moisturizer on in the morning, always wait a few minutes before you start the makeup process. Let the moisturizer sink in. Don't go straight into the face primer or your foundation. That makes a difference as well. So I do something, I might brush my hair or get dressed or clean my teeth or do something else before I go into makeup. It probably goes without saying, but drinking a lot of water also makes your skin just look plumper, look healthier. And I think in the winter particularly, it's easy to forget to drink water. I know I'm a culprit. I have to make myself drink water. But if I do, I find that my skin looks better and my makeup therefore goes on better. So drinking a lot of water and obviously eating healthily does make a difference to the way your skin looks and therefore your foundation goes on. However, age, circumstances, illness, various things can happen so that all of those things don't work and you still feel that you really do need makeup to make your face look even. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through and show you what I do to create that really perfect canvas. So the first product I absolutely love, and for me it's a real must for a flawless base, is the Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. This product was the first product that I came across from Look Fabulous Forever, and I love it. So I'm going to just put my clips in and show you how to use it. The product has got aloe vera in it and silica, and I use just a couple of squirts on my hand, and I put this on with my fingers. So what this does It's an ingenious product and it makes the skin feel like silk. It absolutely fills out any open pores. I've got a lot of open pores on around my nose, as I've got older. Sun damage, etc., has made those pores bigger. So it just fills those in, so that the skin is really, really smooth. And therefore, when you put your foundation on over the top, it doesn't just sink in. It's because our skin becomes a little bit more like blotting paper when we're older. So this creates that beautiful, smooth base for your foundation to sit on. Therefore, it will last all day. If you suffer from redness, it might be that you've got broken capillaries and really redness or rosacea and red cheeks, then the next product I would apply would be the Colour Balance Neutralizer in green. On the areas of redness. I don't really have much redness, but a lot of ladies suffer from redness. So I would at this stage take the Colour Balance Neutralizer and just put it on, and just with my finger blend it. You don't need very much, but a tiny amount of green counteracts redness. So that's the green one. If you've got lots of really sort of dark circles, I look pretty tired this morning, dark circles around your eyes, or if you've got really bad and quite strong pigmentation, which again happens to a lot of us as we get older, often through early sun damage, you might have really sort of dark sunspots, age spots on the sides of your face or anywhere. Then the Colour Balance Neutralizer in peach is a brilliant product to use, because the peach will counterbalance the sort of the browny, purpley areas. So I'm going to just pop a little bit of this on, just underneath my eye area where it is just a little bit purpley. So I'm just going to use, this is the concealer brush number 4. And then I'm using my finger just to tap that in. So the next thing I want to talk about is foundation versus Light Look Beauty Balm. I actually like to use both together. So if you want really, really good coverage, but you don't want it to look cakey, then the Continuous Cover Foundation is a really beautiful product to use, and you can just use this on its own. It's got coconut oil and it's got vitamin E, so it's moisturizing, it gives a good coverage, but it's not heavy. If you're not somebody that likes to use foundation and maybe is used to a very, very light tinted moisturizer, then the Light Look Beauty Balm is also a beautiful product. This is a little bit more, it's a little bit heavier than a tinted moisturizer, but it's not quite as full a coverage as the Continuous Cover Foundation, and it's got a slightly more luminescent, dewy effect. I personally love to use both together, and I like to create my own tailored personal effect using both. So what I do, I'm using today Continuous Cover Foundation number 2. So I'm going to take a little squirt of that onto my hand. In the summer, I sometimes move to Continuous Cover Foundation 2.5, but I'm quite pale at the moment, so I'm using 2. But I'm going to mix it with Light Look Beauty Balm number 1. So I put a little bit of that, again, on my hand. Not very much. You don't need very much of these products. That's the other secret to a good base, not putting too much on. I then go back to my Smooth Like Silk face prime and take a little squirt of that and add that to the mix. So what I then do is to take my foundation brush number 3, this one, and I mix them together on my hand, just like this, to create the perfect colour and the perfect texture using the brush. I like to hold the brush firmly, actually at the bristles, and I'm just going to... Now, if you've used the green, stippling is important because you don't want to wipe the green into areas that you don't need it. So stippling that area, if you've put green colour balance neutralizer on, if you haven't used the neutralizer, I like to do it in a slightly sort of a cross downward motion. Take your time over this. It's probably one of the most important things to make your makeup look good, is to get the colour right, the texture right, and the application really, really good, and the blending. Blending, buffing it in. I put a tiny bit here and here, a little bit under the eye, but I'm going to put some concealer on under my eyes. If you've got short hair, you're wearing your hair up, make sure that you bring it right up to the ears. If you've got the right colour, you don't need to come down, but to the jawline is good. So what I do now is, if you have got two brushes, it's quite nice to have a clean brush so that you can just buff it in even more. Otherwise, you can just use the warmth of your fingers. I quite like to do this, just to really pat in the foundation and just smooth it in. Some people like to apply with their fingers. That's fine. Just make sure there's no oil on your fingers. A lot of makeup artists do use their hands. So I like the effect that the brush has, but you will find your way of doing it. Some ladies like to use beauty blenders as well, sponges, beauty blenders. I find sometimes if you use a beauty blender, you take a little bit too much product up and you waste a little bit on the blender. So for me, the brush is a really good, brush and fingers work really well. So I now need to finish off the evening out with my concealer. I'm going to use the beautiful Cover to Cover concealer, this product here. So this product is a really nice consistency. It has got tea tree in it, and tea tree helps with redness as well, and it's really creamy. So I like to use usually concealer number 2. There's 1, 2 and 3, and I again use my concealer brush number 4. So this is for me the additional help I need where I have got a little bit of sun damage, age spots, sunspots, and I also have a little bit of broken capillaries around the nose area, so I like to stipple it in to that area, just around my nose. And then I just use my finger just to pat it. The other place, I've already put the colour balance neutralizer, but I now need just to put some of the concealer on that area. So I'm going to just, again, with my concealer brush, where there is darkness and blueness, I like to put it on my sort of nose, in the inner bits of my nose. And then I like to just stipple it on the darker areas. If you've got really puffy eyes, don't put too much light concealer on the puffy bit. Put it on the darker indented bit underneath the puffiness, which will have the effect of flattening the puffiness. Very gently pat that in. You want to be very, very gentle on the area around the eyes. You don't want to drag at it, just to create a nice even look without damaging that thin area around the eyes. So just see if there's any more little areas. There's a tiny one there, so I'm just going to get rid of that. It's like magic. I love this concealer. A lot of concealers are dry and drying, and this one is just like a sort of an extension of your foundation. It's really creamy. It is just like, it's like magic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this look so that it lasts all day. And I'm going to use the beautiful translucent powder. And I'm going to use all over, I'm going to pop it on using my powder brush number 1. This is a beautiful, big, fat, soft brush. So I'm just going to sweep it all over. If you've used it on specific areas, you might like to use the eyeshadow brush, actually, to number 7, just to sort of dot that in as well, and to just make sure that you are setting where there's darkness, or if there's certain little areas, I like to use a smaller brush. Otherwise, the big, beautiful, fat powder brush is fantastic. So what this does is it will set your makeup and hold it in place all day, all night, however hot you get, without sitting in fine lines and wrinkles. A lot of powders are just a little bit too thickly milled. This one it really is like silk. It's as though you're not wearing powder at all, so it doesn't sit in the fine lines, and it's brilliant for setting the makeup and making that foundation and base look really flawless and last all day. I'm now going to create a little bit of shape to my face to create the perfect base. And I'm going to first of all use the lovely Instant Bright highlighter. So this product will create a little bit of luminosity, but in a very gentle way. It's got beautiful light reflecting particles. So you just click it, a little clicky pen. And I like to use it where there is naturally a little bit of highlight, so that when you turn, it gives a little bit of a dewy effect. So I'm going to put a little bit just onto the top of my cheekbones, and just with my finger blend that in, so that when I turn, there's just a little bit of dewiness without it looking shiny and obvious. I also like to put a little bit under my brow area, so just here and here. You can use your fingers, or again you can use your lovely concealer brush just to blend that in. I quite like to use a stripe down my nose, which makes the nose look a little bit slimmer. And I like to put a little bit into my deep frown lines just to soften them. You can put a bit above your brows. I call this the magic pen. I love it. So I need to create a little bit of colour now. So if you are cool toned and wear the cooler colours, this is probably the stage that I would put a little bit of bronzer on. Because I'm warmer, I like to put my blusher on before my bronzer. So I'm going to add now a little bit of colour to my face. I'm going to use the lovely Real Radiance blusher in Peach Cream. Now, the blushers are fantastic and quite unique. They are a cream formulation that turn a little bit into like a powder, but not really a powder. So they've actually got the best of both. Some pure cream blushers just sink into the skin as you get older, and some powder blushes just sit on fine lines and wrinkles. So this sort of it alleviates both of those problems, and just works beautifully. I love it. Love the consistency. So I'm going to put it on. I like to place it on with my finger. I'm now going to take my blusher brush number 2. So this is different from the foundation brush. And I like to just blend it gently upwards to create a really pretty it makes you look as though you're just sort of, you've been for a nice healthy walk, as though you slightly, like maybe you've pinched your cheeks slightly. So it's got a little bit of pink in it, but it's also got a peach colour. So, and so easy to use. So easy to pop on with your fingers and blend in. You can put it on with the brush if you like. That some ladies like to do that. Do let us know how you use your blusher. We'd love to know whether you like the brush or whether you like to use fingers then the brush, and just sweep that on. So I'm now going to finish my look with the lovely Enduring Summer Bronze. This product does not come out the colour it looks in the case. It's not as orangey. It's a very lightly tinted powder that just gives you a really nice healthy glow. And again, I'm going to actually use my powder brush, number 1, and I'm going to just sweep it where I might naturally catch the sun. You can also use a tiny bit on your jawline. I like to use a bit also just on my neck, so that my neck isn't floating. It's often a little bit lighter in this area, so you can use a sort of a 3 shape. And as I said, if you are cooler in colouring, I would suggest you do this after powder but before blusher. But because I'm warmer, I can just finish off with a sweep of it. You'll see what works for you, just play around with it. But it's a very gentle colour that just gives that hint of warmth and makes your skin just look a little bit more alive. Certainly it does for me. It just makes me feel so much better, so much healthier when I've got a little bit of bronzer on. Blusher and bronzer. So that is the finished base. And what I'm going to do now is I'm quickly going to finish off my makeup. I'm going to do my eyes, I'm going to do my lips to show you the totally finished look. The secret is to just take a little bit of time on your base, and you will then not look, the idea is not to look as though you're wearing a heavy mask-like look, but it's just enhancing you, making you look even and ensuring that it lasts all day so that you feel really confident with your makeup. I hope that those tips have helped, and if you have got any further questions or any comments, we would absolutely love to hear from you, and we will answer them if you put them in the box below. Enjoy wearing makeup, enjoy the feeling that it gives you. For me, I just love the fact that when I put my foundation on and my base on, everything looks more even and I'm ready to face the day. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.